Blog Talk Radio.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Cancer is preventable in every way. It's not about getting mammograms. It's what you put in here and baby what you say. Because I'm healthy. Clap along if you know health and happiness are connected. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel breast cancer can be prevented. Because I'm healthy. Clap along if you know what happy breasts mean to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happy's what you want to do. Here's some news I gotta tell you about. You've got the right to choose. Did you know that? It's your health, so it's your choice. Speak up to Prim and let him hear your voice. Here's why. Clap along if you want to know what to do for healthy breasts. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know thermography is the best. Because I'm healthy. Clap along if you know what happy breasts.
And welcome to another edition of Breast Show Radio with Brenda Pierce and our very, very special guest I'm pleased to have with us tonight is Morry Zelcovitch. I just want to let you all know that wellness, health, and healing is truly a body, mind, and spirit approach. Breast Show Radio shares insight, speakers, and great approaches to assist you on your life journey. Our media events are an outreach of our upcoming live events for 2016, and you can catch all the fabulous information at www.breastshowintown.ca for details, tickets, vendor information, speaker bios, and so much more. And I am so excited to have Morry Zelcovitch with us tonight because Morry shares his very personal story about why breast cancer has great meaning to him in his life. Morry is the creator of the Morry Method and first noticed the effects of sounds and tones had on his own mental state well over 20 years ago. And this led him to decades-long journey deep into the study of brainwave entrainment. And health and happiness are truly a body, mind, and spirit approach. And as such, I would love to welcome Morry to the call. Hi, Morry.
Hi, Brenda. Thank you so much for having me. I can't tell you how happy I am to be here. This is a very important topic, and, you know, as you alluded to, it's one that's touched me quite a lot, actually, in my life.
Well, we're thrilled to have you with us. And, you know, it seems these days that cancer, or breast cancer in particular, touches many, many people's lives. And as such, it really does have a great impact. And it is a body, mind, and spirit journey, which I really feel your work has a pivotal point to make here with helping people to overcome not only mental and emotional challenges, but also physical challenges as well. So I'd love to have you tell us a little bit about why breast cancer is so impactful in your life, and then we'll get into about the journey about your work and how it can make a difference.
Sure. Well, when I was substantially younger, my mother actually had two major bouts with it.
Oh, boy.
And both times she was the primary earner in our family as well. And I cannot tell you, you know, it's interesting, me being a man, how in my experience it's been the women around me who have always been, you know, my dad's super strong, you know, a lot of very strong men, but the women are, you know, from Krypton, literally. They I don't know, Earth's yellow sun does something to you guys to make you just so impressive as far as I'm concerned. My mother wore a wig to cover up the fact that, you know, she lost her hair from the treatments. My mother went to a health club 4 times a week and worked out during both events. She had chemotherapy, radiation therapy, and other therapies and drugs along the way as well. And both times, if you didn't know that she was going through all of this, you wouldn't know that she was going through all of this. She continued to be the primary wage earner. she continued to be a sweetheart and a half. She never got upset. She never got angry. And remember, she has 2 small boys she's taking care of. Not easy in the best of conditions for a woman to take care of 2 growing boys. When you have the added pressure of not knowing whether you're going to be alive in a few months. And sorry, I kind of get a little emotional when I talk about this. And you go through all of this, it's just incredible. I would get down on my knees and pray to her. She's literally a god to me. And I think that any woman who is being challenged like this, or who knows someone who's being challenged like this, should understand that it's an opportunity to discover inner strength that maybe you never knew you had before. Interestingly enough, I don't remember my mother coming across as overly strong in her personality, in her physical, essence, in any way, really. Always sweet, always loving, always very motherly, but she never struck me before, and this is as a kid, of course, but I don't remember her being incredibly strong or being resourceful. And when all of this happened, it kind of, I don't want to say that it's a good thing, because I don't think disease is ever a good thing, but it allowed her to be what she is. My mother's in her 70s now, and her company offered her an extension past 75 because they don't want her to quit.
Wow.
They don't want her to retire. She's one of the top salespeople with this international firm.
That's incredible.
It is incredible. And she's so sweet and so understanding and so this, if I could be 1/10 of what she is, then everybody out there after this call is going to go, wow, was this guy impressive? Okay? So that's my goal for this call, that people think I'm 1/10 as impressive to them as she is to me, for everything she's done for others. She gave talks earlier on to breast cancer awareness groups and to women and men who were going through the same kinds of things that she went through. Just, this is not a wonderful thing that you should thank God for. But at the same time, it's not a terrible, terrible thing either if you can use your mind to turn it into a learning experience, to turn it into something that allows you to discover the true you, the powerful you. Sometimes we don't live to be what we should be, and sometimes we need a challenge like this to allow us the opportunity to grow into who we can be. So, pain isn't always a bad thing. Disease isn't always a bad thing either. It depends how we look at it. It depends what we choose to learn from it. And I think what I have learned through her experiences, is that anything can be a growth. Anything can be a positive growth. And believe me, I've known some women who didn't recover, unfortunately. And yet their remaining time was, according to them and them telling me, was actually the best time of their life.
Right. It's incredible, isn't it? What can actually fertilize the sleeping giant within each and every one of us?
Yeah, and we have to pay attention to that. We have to realize that, we're always so conditioned to look at certain things as bad or evil or horrible. And often they're actually not bad at all, unless that's how we think of it.
That's right. It's a choice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. And when you condition your mind, when you train your mind, when you use, various tools that are out there, you can actually put yourself into a state where you're more able to take advantage of the power of your own mind. And quite frankly, I think, her discovering the power of her mind has a lot to do with her being cured.
Yeah.
She's been over 10 years without any symptoms, without any signs, without anything.
Wow, and still going so vibrantly and strong. And,
it's incredible. Yeah. My parents are my best friends. It's amazing.
Isn't that beautiful? That is so
Yeah.
incredible, Morry. And, you know, and it's such a testimonial to the strength of the power of parenting. You know, it can be, some parents are not meant to be parents, and others are truly inspiring. And as such, you've had, obviously great mentors in your life.
I've been very, very lucky. But, everything requires an attitude, too. And in the beginning of my life, I had my own kind of torture that I went through for 35 years. Well, that's not why we're here. But it helps, hopefully, people to understand that everything is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we need to do. We need to realize everything is a choice. And when we realize that everything is a choice, we realize that we can choose to be happy. We can choose to learn something. We can choose to say, yes, this hurts. Yes, this sucks. But maybe it hurts. Maybe it sucks because it's trying to teach me something that I'm not getting. And I need to start looking at it as a lesson instead of, a punishment.
Yeah, definitely. And as such, you've been on your own journey, as you've alluded to, and this has actually led to you discovering something that was pivotal in your own life, and you've grown and nurtured it and developed it into something now that has been very transformative and very helpful to people around the world, as it has made great insights into you. And I wonder if you could tell us about the sound healing, the Morry method, and how it can really impact people's lives who may be going through struggles with breast cancer or any type of cancer.
Sure. Well, with me, I went through really, really bad depression for a long time. But I did do certain things, and part of me was awake enough to realize, to learn from these experiences. And I learned that sounds have a profound effect on my mood and on how I perceive time. And I started researching various sounds and how they interact with the brain. And the Morry method is essentially a way of using pulsed tones, so something that might sound like ba 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 ba, to influence your neurons, which are your brain cells. And the way it influences them is it's kind of like a monkey see, monkey do. Your brain gets exposed to a steady stimulus, or a steady pulse rate, if you will. And if it's within a certain range, your brain starts to follow that after about 6 minutes. When I say follow it, it means your neurons start firing minute electrical impulses in tune or in time with those pulses that you're listening to. What this does is it actually releases different neurochemistry, so different neurotransmitters, hormones, endorphins, and the like. And what that does is that allows you to feel, to learn, to think. When you get the news from your doctor that you might have something, you decide if that's good or bad, and most people decide it's pretty bad. Then they decide how bad is it. And they go through all of this like that, instantly.
Right.
But it is a series of steps. As you go through these steps, you're picking right turns, left turns, going straight. When you decide it's a horrible, horrible thing, you start feeling horrible. But it's not because you decided to feel horrible. It's because all of these internal reflexive decisions that you just made create a state in your brain where your brain says, oh, okay, Morry has decided what he just heard is really bad. And I mean really bad. So my brain then creates chemistry that supports my conclusion that I should feel really bad. And I end up feeling really bad. My pulse rate goes up, my heart rate goes up, I start sweating, I start breathing heavily, I start panicking. All of these things are the result of chemistry. They're not a result of what you thought or what you were thinking or what you heard. They're a result of how you chose to interpret everything that you heard. And then your brain creates that chemistry, which then makes you feel the way you feel. So what this technology does is it helps to get you out of that cycle. For instance, we have some bad news. This bad news we consider to be really, really bad news. It creates negative chemistry. This negative chemistry makes us feel crappy. This crappy feeling creates more negative thoughts, which then creates more negative chemistry, and the cycle is born. So this goes for depression. This goes for diagnoses of all sorts. This goes for anything that we have going on in our lives. This is how we get trapped. People try to help you. You don't really hear them. It's not because you don't love them or they don't love you. It's because your chemistry is locking you out because you're in this cycle. In my case, I was so depressed that anybody tried to tell me something, how can you possibly understand? I wake up every morning, I look out the window, I want to see nuclear clouds. That's how I lived for 30, 35 years of my life. Literally looking out the window, not being afraid that there might be a nuclear war, hoping there would be a nuclear war.
Jeepers.
Okay? And this is much the same kind of thinking that goes on in someone who is feeling very bad for themselves or very scared. For instance, when you get a diagnosis. Okay? Now, when you give in and you believe without question and you do not take any ownership of this, because it's your body, it's your life, definitely do what the doctors say. But also, we have a great thing called the internet. Do research yourself. Find out other things you can do or, by that case, not do. For instance, for this call, I did a little looking around as well as with my mom, and we found that recently sugar has been equated as a massive accelerant, if you will, for cancer. Yep. It's like fuel.
Yeah.
So
rocket fuel.
If you have a diagnosis, stay away from sugar. Anything your body needs in that way, it can convert from other things that you're eating. Okay, so don't have those cookies, don't have those chocolate bars, and definitely not refined or processed foods or sugars.
Yeah.
But knowledge is power. When you start understanding, oh, look at this, I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing that wrong, I'm doing this wrong, I will stop doing those things. Now you're giving yourself power, not just power because you're no longer doing things that are causing the problem or even making it worse. But you feel better about yourself because now you're taking away fuel from the fire.
Yeah.
In your head, you're doing this. Your head is very powerful. For all we know, our heads gave us this problem in the first place. Our heads can get rid of this problem if that's the case as well. Even if that isn't the case, as I mentioned with these other ladies that I was talking to years ago who are no longer with us, they said without a doubt, every single one of them, their lives have never been so fulfilled, so wonderful, so filled with love as they were a few months after they got their diagnosis and up until, the end. The fact of the matter is, there is only now. There isn't the past, there isn't the future. Do you remember, Brenda, what you had for lunch yesterday?
No, vaguely.
Okay, well, let's pretend you did. When I asked you that question, when were you remembering what you had for lunch?
I was remembering as of yesterday. But
right,
I am
but
in the
when
present now.
When I asked you to remember, this is a difficult concept for people, so it's good. But let me ask you, so I ask you right now, what did you have for lunch? So you're thinking about it now, right?
Yep.
So when I ask you the question, when are you thinking about what you had for lunch yesterday, you're thinking about it now, correct?
Yes, right.
Okay. If you have an interview that you're doing tomorrow, and I say, Brenda, can you tell me who you're interviewing tomorrow? And then you think about who you're interviewing tomorrow, you will tell me who you're interviewing right now, who you will be interviewing tomorrow. That's when you're going to tell me, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, when tomorrow gets here and you're interviewing this person, when will it be for you?
It'll be now.
Exactly. All any of us have is now. When I was in high school, I had two very good friends. One guy was gay, and he was one of the first people in Canada diagnosed with AIDS.
Oh, dear.
Okay? His doctors told him, this guy's a teenager. The doctors are telling him, get your affairs in order. Because if you have 6 months, you're lucky. Okay? I had another friend, handsome like Superman, okay? Gorgeous guy, built like, built like Superman too, for that matter. Really thick, hair, beautiful, bright eyes, smart, everything like that. Okay, healthy. 3 weeks after my first friend I was telling you about got his diagnosis, this guy got hit by a car and died.
Oh my God.
Okay, my friend who has AIDS, 7 of his doctors have died. He's fine.
Yes, this is true. Isn't that? It's just such a conundrum as to how things happen and unfold in our lives.
Yes, and we need to understand that all we have, any of us, whether we have a diagnosis or no diagnosis, whether it's a right diagnosis, whether it's a wrong diagnosis, whether we're sneezing, whether we're coughing, whether we're crying, whether we're laughing, we only have now. All of us. Yeah. That's all there ever is now. So, again, when I used my technology for myself, this is a major concept that kind of flowed around me and made me understand that it was reality and that everything else we were living around was actually false, because all we have is now. So, if you want the best chance at being the best person that you can be, and when I say that, I don't mean in the eyes of the world or the universe or God, I mean for you and for your family, then you have to take care of right now. Tomorrow is unimportant, because tomorrow is a dog chasing its tail. You never catch tomorrow, because when tomorrow gets here, it's not tomorrow anymore, it's now. There's no such thing as yesterday, because when you experienced it, it was now. We need to wrap our heads around this concept that time only exists so that we can meet up and coordinate with each other. But in reality, time actually does not exist.
Wow, that's powerful.
We all live in now, and that's all there is. And I don't care what your diagnosis is. If you're listening to this, you're here now. Be grateful for now. Do what you can now. Love. Tell people you love them. Show them you love them. Be with them now. Don't wait. Don't worry, because, again, there's every possibility in the world that you will be here in 10 years. Or you might get hit by a car. Either way, you want to live now. And this is what so many people, I think, miss. Even people without. You see, and this is why I was alluding to the fact that sometimes an issue like this can actually wake you up and make you more alive than any of the other robots walking around you who, quote-unquote, are healthy.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any appreciation, true love for every moment. There's nothing, I can tell you personally, Brenda, and everybody out there, there is nothing in the world as beautiful, as heartwarming, as inspirational as living now and understanding that the next second an asteroid might hit the planet and we go the way of the dinosaurs. None of that matters, because we have now. I'm on this call with you. We're having this talk. I am fully in the moment. Anything that might be happening tomorrow, I don't worry about it, because I'm taken care of now. Okay,
That's
I'll get
totally
off my soapbox now. Sorry.
No, very, very powerful, very, inspiring. And it doesn't matter whether you, like you say, whether you have a disease, whether it's breast cancer, whether it's heart disease. We only have this moment, and it's so powerful to really step into that. And when we take that breath and really focus and anchor into the actual action of taking that breath, knowing that, that breath was a gift, and it could be, you do have a greater appreciation for the presence and being alive, and nothing else does matter, really, honestly.
Nothing
the bills
ever
will
matters.
come in. No, it doesn't. Bills will come and go. Birthdays come and go. Gray hair comes and goes. But we only have now. That's true.
That's right. That is so true. And we need to understand that. And, I truly hope that people, there's support groups. There's people like Brenda doing wonderful, wonderful work. We need to expose ourselves to more of this to understand the real truth, not the fear that society puts into us. Because fear is a terrible thing. It distracts you from everything that's valuable. The only time that fear matters is if you're like a little bunny rabbit in the forest and you're being stalked by a fox or a wolf. That's when fear matters. When your life is immediately threatened, that's when fear serves a purpose. Every other time, it's just there to get you to buy something.
Well, that's true. There's the war on cancer. There's the war on drugs. There's the war on war. We can go on, and it does really constrict you and put you in a place of pain. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it's terrible that we have so many people taking advantage of other people. But, that's where you have to trust your instincts. If you meet people or come across people who you're in touch with, you feel a connection with, there's a reason why you feel a connection with them. Do what you can to be around them, to learn from them, to talk to them, things like that. When you come across people who you feel not really, they're grating on you, they make you anxious, they make you nervous, they make you fearful. Believe it or not, all of these feelings are good if you listen to them, because someone who makes you feel anxious or fearful is someone you're supposed to avoid, which is why you're feeling anxious or fearful around them. They're not good for you. The people who make you feel good and happy and make you giggle, these are the people that you should be around and that you should pay attention to. And that's why we feel the way we feel. That's another lesson that I was taught through experience, is that our bodies and our minds show us the way all the time. If you're feeling negative, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling afraid all the time, it's because you're choosing to put your attention on all the wrong things. But these feelings are good because they're identifying for you what is good for you and what is bad for you. What is good for you feels good. What is bad for you feels bad. It's really that simple.
Yeah, but we get so clouded, right? We get so clouded with the day-to-day doings instead of just being human beings, and we lose the fact that we are these incredible, divinely inspired beings that have these sensory tools in order to help us to really discern our life and what's important.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So true.
Well, I like the fact that, these life experiences that we go through, we don't know what we're going to get into at the beginning of it all, but we certainly, life unfolds in a beautiful way that really is us becoming more and more our fulfilled self. And so anything that we can imagine, the power of the brain can definitely help us to get through it. And the use of the sensory experiences that we have are like the feelers that go out and kind of tactilely touch and help us to really know whether or not we are right or wrong in our thinking. But ultimately, we are right. Whatever our choice is, wherever we are, there we are.
Yes, well said. Very, very well
I love
said.
the fact that you have, you come to us with a great message. First of all, the inspiration of your mom. And we are down to the end of the hour already, Morry, the half hour, and that goes by so quickly. I just want to invite everybody to really get a hold of the information that Morry has here on the webcast information. There's a link where you can find out more about Morry's Morry method and access quantum mind power. And this is really something that can really change your life. Morry, we look forward to having you as a part of the Fresh Show and the Toronto event, October 1st and 2nd, 2016. And you will be able to share with us more in-depth information about mind power and how to transform our lives. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much, and thank everybody for being there. I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Love you all, and remember, you are loved and you are loved. You are blessed and you are a blessing. And get happy, people. Life is happening. We might as well dance along with it. Here we go.
It's preventable in every way. It's not about getting mammograms. It's what you put in here and, baby, what you say. Because I'm healthy. Clap along if you know breast cancer.